MaJaMa Jams is brought to you by Someone Needs to Cut the Cheese.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Where's his boa?
Well, she's standing on him.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. And today, as we continue stomping through the wasteland of Z-grade movies, we have what is, for me, perhaps, a little bit of a pleasant surprise. Now, we have infamously talked about asylum movies on this show, this channel, and when I say we, I mean me, because I hate asylum movies, and I think they're the cheapest of the cheap, and they're cynical, and I'd call them cash grabs, but I don't know if they make that much money, and there's really no redeeming qualities. One of the things that frustrates me about this is the terrible CGI and the lack of treating it like an actual movie. Like I said, I think they usually come up with the title and then just try to make the movie come after it. But today we went to what one might call a classic, Mateo, of this genre. Now, some of you may know there was a movie called Boa, which
First it was Python.
Damn it!
Alphabetically, he was correct.
Yes. But it wasn't the original title, because originally it was supposed to be New Alcatraz.
Where are we? International Maximum Security Prison. The new Alcatraz.
Some of you may know there was a movie named New Alcatraz.
No, Python still comes first.
Damn it! Some of you may know there was a movie named Python. Then after that, there was a movie named Boa, originally titled New Alcatraz, until they realized no one wanted to see that without a giant snake attacking people. Both of these were mild underground hits, and then in 2004, rocketing onto the scene is today's entry, guys, Boa versus Python. And guess what? Guess what? Matthew doesn't want to have this show be a philosophical discussion of movies, but I'm going to turn this into one because I think today is actually a great example of why movies like this used to be better. Well, we're going to call it the Shark Attack 3 theory. You guys may remember we covered that for Shark Week a couple years back, saying it was the best shark movie ever, under a certain umbrella, of course. But I think today that kind of applies.
Really?
So, what is the plot
Why are you asking me?
of Boa versus Python?
Smooth.
What is the plot, hands right here, not grabbing anything, of Boa versus Python? Well, let's find out together. After an ambitious businessman transports an 80-foot python to the United States, what could possibly go wrong? The snake escapes and starts to gulp human after human. An FBI agent and a snake specialist devise a plot to combat the creature by pitting it against a bioengineered 70-foot boa constrictor in one of the most underwhelming endings of any Versus movie.
Wait.
Yeah, you should hide that.
Yeah. You're disrupting the set.
So, what did you guys think? Because I think you're surprised I actually had a fun time. But Matthew, what did you think?
I don't think
of
this
Boa
film
versus Python?
warrants a discussion. It was fine. It wasn't as bad. It was just fine.
I guess it was that good. Cue gag where we end the show early, but we're not actually ending it.
No, we can't keep doing that.
That's why I made the joke about actually calling out that
But I'm pretty sure it's going to be done.
it's probably going to do it. Like, Mateo will probably cut right in the middle of the sentence and still do the gag.
Why would I do that?
Okay, maybe it won't. Maybe this whole played the whole time. We didn't get a cheap shot and
Is
go
there
back
a
to
way
the
to
end early
tell
gag.
now what will happen in the future?
No.
There's no way to tell right now whether or not you edited that.
Absolutely not.
Like, the people watching this, they'll know, but we're stooges in the dark.
I'm in the dark.
Oh, wow.
I don't know when I'm editing what's going to happen.
We're discovering how time works. So Mateo,
Yes?
what do you think? Surprisingly, I feel like this has more of...
Can I answer?
Well, enough about what you think about me.
Now Jason is MaJaMa all through together.
Ja, ja, ja. Ja, ja, ja.
Don't say anything. You're going to further the discussion.
Just stay quiet and let Jason babble, and eventually we'll walk away slowly from these couches.
Great.
I remember when I saw it, the first time I saw it, I rented it on Netflix. Physical.
Wow.
Physical.
Physical.
disc.
Remember those days? Mateo was like, I got 14 of them stacked up. We got to get into them.
You
Yep.
couldn't get that many from Netflix.
He had a lot.
Five at the time.
So how
And,
many you can take?
and back then, since I was oblivious to Asylum, or probably Asylum wasn't even existing,
Right, yeah,
That's
probably.
full time.
I was saying, oh my God, this is dreadful.
Your point being?
Then the Asylum came by, and now watching it, you say, oh, okay, it's not, is only dread.
Here's the thing.
It's not full.
It's the Shark Attack 3 in that they make a movie. It
Yes.
may be a B, Z movie. It may have crappy creature effects. It may have no stars. But they are making a movie.
No
and
stars.
You're really singing his
Well,
praises.
It's the Kroger version of Superstars. We have
Yes.
Tom Cruise,
Yes.
Randy Quaid,
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
Mashed up.
We have, for some reason, Emmanuel Macron from
Well,
France.
You know, it's funny. Is you,
Fairuza Balk.
you make
Mixed
fun.
with Deborah Messing.
I always think it's funny when you make fun of, because that's exactly right. I'm thinking they're all the Kroger versions.
Well,
of
exactly
celebs.
right.
And
But-
Mike Stokalasa.
Oh my God! Here goes nothing.
Mike Stoklasa, god of
R.I.P.
internet movie reviews himself, is in this movie. Don't let him tell you different. He's lying. That is a doppelganger. At least one of you people are going to know about that. But I think that it makes all the difference in the world that they actually tried to do a movie. It's simply just a movie, and then the honesty of that is why you can enjoy it. Because they're still trying to do things.
I don't
and
think you can enjoy this per se.
No, I have, again,
Well, you fell asleep halfway
You were
through
asleep
it.
for a good 40% of the
no,
film.
I was in
which
and
kinda
out like
led
that.
To your
It was like
positive
down and back up,
experience,
down and back
while
up.
me and Mateo had to endure the full feature film.
But at least,
It's over.
yes. And unlike the Asylum follows a model.
Yes.
Every single segment of a movie has a fake scare and a real attack. A fake scare and a real attack, and then there is the final confrontation, which usually is underwhelming. But that's the idea. But this one, and so you can almost overlap every single Asylum movie, monster creature at least, and you see that pattern throughout
Yeah.
every single stuff. This one was not following the formula, like Shark Attack 3 Megalodon. Was not following that specific formula. And in fact, there is, at some point, there is an abrupt cut to black. That
was jarring.
To the hunt.
No, so that's what I think. I feel like this really showcases that the Asylum is just cynicism, and I don't think they try to make movies. They try to just make a product,
and a
No,
profit.
What?
like I was saying,
Talking about the Asylum.
it's interesting how you have tropes that you can make fun of, but then you remove them. You know, you always like, oh, the attractive people in the movie. Oh, what was this person just cast because of their jawline or their figure? And then you see this movie full of like C-level attractive people, and you're like, yo, we should get nothing but attractive people on screen, you know? Like just full-on A-plus Hollywood level gorgeous people. Like you're watching this and everything is just like you took a celebrity and just turned the knob down.
But bodies were on point.
That's true, especially when what we see is we go into like. Oh my God! Remember the opening lake scene of Raiders of the Lost Shark?
I'm sorry, what?
Come on. Come for a swim.
Remember Raiders of the Lost Shark? Its entirety?
Yeah.
Did
So-
we watch it in its entirety?
Boa
I
versus
did.
Python.
I don't remember if we watched it together.
And then we're going to get into the specifics because there's some great little fun scenes and lines and characters.
Like you can remember one.
This is kind of like Skyscraper because I feel like this is not the 90s,
What the hell happened to you?
Some people are trying to kill me.
but a lot of these have what seem like the 90s action cliche characters, like the whole people in the field, muscled men out in tank tops that barely speak and don't order for lunch, they just give steely glances.
Yes.
So we need more attractive people. But I think it's a great example
Then I'm
of
out.
the tiers of movies because there are a lot of the shark stuff, again, time and time again, I don't like a lot of
Tiers?
shark movies. I do not like a lot of shark
Yeah.
movies. None of us really like shark movies that much. I'm so sorry, guys. We have the ones we love, Mateo, if he got tattoos, he'd probably have the Jaws logo tattooed on his forehead as a testament to filmmaking. We all love Shark Attack 3, but what we don't love is Sharksploitation. There's a couple here and there, but mostly it's an awful slog, and it's terrible.
Total mood killer.
And we'll be associated with it for the rest of our life by at least one or two geeky people. Just the way it goes. So,
MaJaMa. You forgot about that, right? I put it now for hilarious purposes, so we... I got nothing.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
We're clear, but we lost Hoffman and Montgomery.
I think it's actually pretty fun. Matthew, why don't we get into some of the fun elements, like some of the fun characters? You made a joke that I wouldn't remember them, but you said you wanted to pay attention. You had a Red Bull before this, so you're gonna break down some of the.
We need the truth.
You're gonna break down some of the fun characters and events we saw.
Wait, why? Wait, why? Why did that fall to me?
How does our movie open?
Our movie opens with
a massively distracting.
Oh my God!
Back and forth between the.
Dude, every time a new establishing
wrestling.
Oh, I forgot about. Yeah. Okay, in fairness, I completely forgot about this scene.
Which scene?
The opening wrestlers.
Surprise.
If that is done well, that's not an uncool.
It was very early 2000s.
Yeah.
Style of.
First of all, every time it cut, like when we cut to the teenagers in the car making out, it's like Pac's son just like discharged all over the floor.
The dude's wearing an Independent t-shirt.
All right, touch my car again, and I'll kick your ass. Yeah.
The amount of Independent t-shirts I wore around that time, not even skating, probably trying to look cool by going to Pac's son, probably a lot of it bought by Mom.
A lot of it.
Most of it.
All of it.
You all right?
Yeah, just a little pissed.
So every time we have an establishing location, we have Philadelphia, 24 miles outside. It rushes across the screen.
No, the best one is after the guy gets killed, then it pops up suddenly. Like literally the guy gets killed, and then it says Philadelphia, 10 miles away. Like what? How is that suddenly pertinent?
Now sometimes they are triple time.
Like you have it fly past the screen like, whoa, wait, where are we? Yeah. Oh, okay, outside of Philadelphia.
They want to do style.
Well, you said and I thought it was a legitimate question. You asked, like, is this guy coming from music videos?
Apparently not. He's
but
coming from
everything
editing.
Seemed very flashy.
He edited Python 2 and Boa, so...
And it shows.
Yeah.
We open on a wrestling match with two masked wrestlers fighting in a...
coincidentally called one Boa, one Python.
Yeah. We meet our villain.
Yeah. But at the same time, that whole fight is intercut with
the transport
whatever it is. The scavenger.
Well, we spent a lot of time with Agent Sharp, and like Matthew says, you're like, wait, is this guy our protagonist? We're kind of jumping around to people, and everyone's kind of boring. Our blonde, who looks like the Shark Attack 3 girl.
Yeah.
She does kind of look like the Shark Attack 3 girl.
She is the closest to... She at least has that, like, oh, you look like a celeb I've seen, kind of. I can see why you're in this movie.
I promise.
The funniest moment ever was when we meet our snake doctor that's going to introduce them to the giant python. Boa. One of the two. And the nurse is... nurse. Where did nurse come from? The doctor is outside rattling on about how ugly he's going to be and how people that work with snakes are creepy and don't have social interaction.
He's probably got the whole crazy, bug-eyed, Christopher Lloyd, Jeff Goldblum, mad scientist thing going on. Pasty skin, doesn't see the sun much.
And it's being played as a joke that in the background the doctor walks out and he's hearing her say everything, and it's supposed to be a contrast to the image. So Matthew just goes, is he supposed to be hot? Because the joke is supposed to be...
They should have swapped
he matches the image.
The two characters. The evil guy should have been him, and he... And so the evil guy, at least you see him, he has this Tom Cruise kind of quality.
Just take his shirt off and cover his head with it.
Yes.
So you're good.
And cover your head too in case his lip appears.
Hello, bitch. Remember me?
Here's the test print of Tom Cruise that came not exactly correct.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to fix this and this and
Well,
this.
that's what me and this and Skyscraper remind me of. It literally looks like take this clunky AI and have it make action archetypes, and these guys pop out with dude, the one guy, it just literally has black tank top and the shades on through the whole movie, and like you said, they're in a dark underground tunnel, and he's wearing
No. The black tank top is the other guy with the bow and arrow.
The guy that always has shades on.
The guy that has the shades on is wearing a gray t-shirt. He's got driving gloves.
He has driving gloves for some reason.
Maybe at one point the continuity expert on Bo vs. Python was like, "Sir, the shirt isn't the same in this," and the director was like, "Look, sweetie, if they're talking about the color of their shirts, we're failing here."
Who hired a continuity expert? Get out of here! Can't have lunch today because of you.
I told you, stop showing up. It's not that type of movie.
Impossible.
Then there is the girlfriend of the protagonist who has a snake tattoo. She handles
down the length of her back.
Gigantic tattoos, and then she tosses casually the anaconda. And then
don't forget the breath holding contest.
But no, but
whoa! He's
says,
on one scene, man. You're jumping completely to a different person in a different setting.
But that's her introduction.
That is two different women.
What?
One has red hair, one has blonde.
No one has. Just crank out the character.
There's a short-haired, red-haired,
different
villain girl.
Right. Yeah, no, I remember her. Yeah.
Who's taking a shower and
a sexy bathtub with the with the kitchen sponge and.
That is a giant sponge you would use to clean the floor of a kitchen.
They are doing the classic Cinemax Saturday afternoon movie.
Like a ketchup bottle.
Sexy freaking bath scene. And she goes to squirt the liquid out and they leave in the fart sound. It is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a movie because it seems earnest. Again, it seems so earnest.
The gigantic SpongeBob sponge.
Yeah. Like imagine it's just... Honestly, we peaked there. Now you can fake roll credits.
So she says she hates snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes, so she's holding the snake.
I just got attacked by a fucking anaconda in there.
Yes.
She throws it on the bed, but she says, I'm not afraid of them. I hate them.
I said that I hated snakes. I never said I was afraid of them.
Why do you have a snake tattoo on your back then?
Yeah.
Also, he has his own private jet, which is
with marble.
Yeah, they have marble columns everywhere to show their opulence, and on top of that, they have a giant evil villain super villain table made of marble.
So you got a dual exhaust jet engines. You got marble tables to show your opulence.
The amount of weight that would add to a plane.
And I have to say that set is probably made with more money than they had on the Mount Olympus in Hercules in New York.
Yeah. That was a park.
Those three columns.
And they move those same columns around for every scene.
It doesn't look insanely good, but it's not the classic asylum control room.
No.
And that's what I'm saying.
It has personality.
It may be budgetary, and it may be like, look, the asylum works with this much in order to pump them out, blah, 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 but it's just, I can't help but see that this is the great example of how it's still elevated. It still tries.
Outstanding.
Again, you got put on a Sharknado of the week or whatever, an asylum.
No,
we'll have a way better time with this. I promise you. We'll have a way better time with this.
Oh yeah, because at least it's I mean, every single character is an idiot. Does the thing that they do.
Now left. No, right.
There was the Brendan Fraser lookalike cop who slips and falls face first into a body.
I thought he was going to be around the whole movie when we first saw it scene. Like he'd just be a bumbling...
There is the wonderful line, we found the bodies of two guys necking.
Cops just found what was left of a couple of necking teenagers in their car.
We found a guy's leg near a beach where he was playing frisbee with his dog.
Oh my god.
You know, this would be a great double feature with Shark Attack 3. It's not as much of a slam dunk, but it is still pretty fun.
Yeah. No. I mean...
I have to say, when Matthew suggested this, I was like, oh god, this is going to be one of those, it's 5 minutes in, I'm going to be dying, it's not going to be fun in the way that this was. This surprised me, dude. I actually had fun with you guys. I think it was the right vibe, and no joke, it really taught me a lot. This hammered home, this and Shark Attack 3.
You learned from this?
There's different tiers. And again, we could blah 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 forever about what it is, but
or we could stop speaking right now.
Or we could
MaJaMa. I did it again. I did the same gag one more time because because still got nothing.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Foley, come back!
Then we get to a field full of cliche killers. We have a man that Mateo said, and jokingly, and I thought was Kevin Dunn from Transformers, the classic dad archetype. I 100% thought that was him when they stepped out the car. We have, again, what could have been a pretty bumbling father-son team, could have been a little more amusing.
Told you to do that back at the plane. You must be wearing a catheter like your old man. I'm not gonna wear one. This ain't one of your dumbass video games.
This reminded me of sitting down to write a script for the first time, and then you're like, oh, in movies there's usually a guy chopping a cigar. What if our guy had a cigar? Oh, in movies sometimes a character has interplay with another for laughs.
Would you mind putting my evidence back, Deputy?
Oh, sorry. Oh, in movies sometimes there's a guy and a girl and then they'll kiss later. Oh, sometimes there's bikini shots and everything felt like a kid was like, oh, and in movies they do this.
They have the checklist of...
But again, kind of worked. So what are the characters?
Don't touch my leg, please. We have guy in red convertible who's always wearing sunglasses and driving gloves. We have Hick in the purple blazer who's from
Shark Attack 3.
That is their 3 hours behind schedule?
No, that's the...
That's all I need.
Right.
The one who...
Those are two different guys. Okay.
And then we have...
He has no lines in this movie.
Yeah, he can't speak English, right?
No, he yells in this one. And
well, what a pedigree.
An ashtray and a beer.
And then we have the
bald...
who just walks up.
Yeah.
Everyone drives up, but they're all staggered. They're all just kind of coming within a minute apart of each other.
Yeah.
And then there's a dude who just walks out of the field.
Well, it's hilarious to be like, okay, we're gonna do all your entrances. So guys, give him a second. Wait. Okay, he got out of the car. I looked at him. Now you go. Get out of the car slowly when you get up there. Wait. He's out of the car. Okay, now you go ahead. Come on. I said slow.
So he's inviting them all out here for a snake hunt, which is why he was transporting the python. But the python breaks free early on, and he's like, okay.
Do you realize how much money I spent for this weekend? The gentlemen I've invited are extremely wealthy and extremely well connected. And they are flying out here for the sole purpose of hunting a giant snake. What am I supposed to do now? Offer them an Easter egg hunt?
Do you want me to call the boys and tell them the hunt is off?
No. Just tell them we're simply rescheduling the dates and location.
We'll have them go out to wherever the python is now squirming through, and they'll hunt it there.
Yeah.
While at the same time, the CIA gets a whiff that there's a giant snake out there, so they go to the snake expert, who's like, hey, can you use your giant boa to help us find this giant python? And he's like, yeah, okay. And
got a couple hours till lunch.
The scientist lady, who's the most unscientific person you can...
Yes.
She walks up to it, snake cages, is tapping on it.
Snakes are just like other creatures. Respect them and they'll respect you. You just have to know what you're doing, especially with the poisonous kind, like the one you're tapping there.
Does this upset them?
You work with live animals, and then she's like operating on the snake a couple minutes later. So I'm like, you know how to interact.
Yeah.
They put some kind of device on it that is able to, it's just a camera?
Is camera and GPS.
Dude, it looks like a friggin' like an 80s He-Man type, but you put on a snake or something. I literally thought it was
kind of like accents.
Yeah.
So they go with the CIA and other army men to track it down the sewers. Yeah. They get separated. The boa is apparently pregnant already from how some experiments the scientist was trying to do on it.
She's the only species of boa that lays eggs. I mean, I've tried in the past to get her to mate unsuccessfully. I mean, in vitro even, nothing's worked.
Well, it looks like she's putting up one hell of a fight now.
And then the python wanted the baby. The python ate the babies.
The python ate the babies, and so the boa hates him.
But they're kind of like cool for...
Yeah, the first time that they see each other, they are actually screwing.
I don't think you want to see this.
What is it?
Looks like the python's trying to get busy with your boa.
It's like the worst thing you could possibly do. Like, okay, we're going to have our two titular monsters meet. And it's like blurry footage from her GPS camera of them kind of like writhing around each other, like banging.
For a second.
Yeah, and then like that's how you're going to introduce it?
Blurry footage
That's how we're
on
gonna
a
first
camera
have our
indicates our two titular characters writhing around together like, comma, banging. Interior. Laugh, night.
Ew, is that his...
Vestigial hind leg. The male python uses them like spurs during mating. Oh, no, that.
So they start running around. The guys who are hunting end up getting down to the sewer too, and Agent Sharp just gets shot in the chest because he pops out from behind a corner, and the dude
I got pizza.
And the supposedly hunter who is the one. Who,
Good night, my love.
It's so like he's built up enough to be a character. We're like, okay, you just shoot him in the chest,
and he says,
and he's outstanding.
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 Oh, they probably did test footage. Like, we can't look at this hairline that much. It just looks like they're running away in different directions.
And then there is a TV journalist with a one-man crew.
Oh, and that's like,
oh my God! We give him a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time.
Yeah.
For this reporter, we may be in the beginning of an appearance by Al Qaeda in the middle of the heartland of Middle America.
And like he's giving some exposition, but like we're seeing everything.
Accident.
We're seeing all the exposition happen. So why do you need to have him tell us that?
Yeah.
And
he's a big Chris Farley fan.
He's
Well, maybe I don't look the part. I'm not svelte.
In what government officials are deeming an accident.
He's the one of the deaths you want to see. He's one very annoying character talking down to his cameraman, and we don't even see it.
No.
Lewis?
So, did you finally get a signal?
Because a lot of deaths are at the point of view of the snake.
What's the point of even making a monster movie if you're not going to show the gore?
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine that? Making a monster movie and you don't see the attacks?
Like you always just cut to black?
Yeah.
Every time?
It's pathetic.
Not even a drop of
and
blood?
Lazy.
Maybe a little blood in the beginning just to whet their appetite
yeah.
and then go back to it?
Just to like, lure them in, but...
Was there blood?
A little blood.
Yeah. Oh, on the hand.
That was pretty much the plan, yeah.
So they start, all the hunters are starting to get picked off. The dad gets thrown against the fence and gets poked with a stick or something. And then
death scene. The father gets thrown against a fence.
They're gonna flood these tunnels where the snakes are, and so they're like
have them move where they want to.
Yeah.
So the son waits to be inundated by water.
He's staring at this tunnel where water's starting to rush in and like smiling.
No, wait.
Does he want to die to be with his dad or something?
Hold on. What was the scene? What was the scene where Agent Sharp is standing in the background, literally staring at a wall? And then she's like, "So, where are you from, Johnny?" And he's like, "Well, let me tell you, it started off on a windy night in Mississippi," and he's still in the background.
But they show him in the background
staring at a wall
during the surgical the operation, so you know that's got to take a few hours. He's just standing there the entire time.
Oh, it's a freaking snake structure.
Doesn't he have more important things he could be doing?
He's got a vending machine in here or something.
Probably.
And then when they're like starting to get to know each other and start their love affair, he's just still there.
Tell me more about your antivenom.
Oh, it's universal antivenom. Well, hopefully. See, most are created to counteract the toxins of a specific species. So, consequently, a large number of victims.
Where does that leave us? You guys are doing great at this, man. I'm always shocked every episode when you actually recount everything that happened.
I don't know if
You were about to remember the only scene that, to recount the only scene that you remember when she's doing, I can take him underwater, because they had to set up for some reason that she is holding her breath for a while. So
well, it's like in Skyscraper when they set up she's a gun expert, but
Yeah.
showing her getting plowed on a farm.
It's almost the same thing, because she just goes underwater in a pool and then she cheats.
How do we type in that she's? How'd you get so good at shooting? Don't forget, I'm from Texas. Oh.
But
so yes, we have a breath holding contest to
and underwater
foreshadowing.
She cheats. She removes her bra, and of course the other guy has a very plausible reaction.
Acting classes by the guy getting a blowjob in the room.
Yes.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
The CGI is for 2004 is okay.
Again, you have to put the asterisk that I'm coming off of all the CGI we've seen. And yes, again, classic example of the darkness helps. So there's a first shot where we're in the dark where the snake comes out. And I was like, okay, this is not terrible. It's not terrible. There was some sense of weight, and then yes, you get a little light shot and it starts slowing. There's no weight or mass to it.
The thing that plays in his favor is not in his favor is the speed. They're very quick cuts, and they're too jarring for your eye to adapt, and so the CGI pops even more. But then there is the inexplicably scene in the disco where the snake arrives and nobody. I mean, I guess that 2 or 3 they've taken Molly or something like that. So I might say I don't know how quick it is.
But
the reaction.
that snake is
it's
this thick, and everyone's like looking down, like,
Yeah.
oh, what just bumped me? What just bumped me? What just
Excuse
bumped me?
me?
Yeah. Like it could be, it's impossible. It could move that fast where you wouldn't know. You look down
Yeah.
and immediately see a massive, gigantic snake.
Even in
club.
Calamity of Snakes,
Yeah.
when they arrived, at least they were small.
And then it
You
slews
guys
up behind
want to
the
talk
DJ.
about falling asleep for a second? I think I woke up and I was like, how the F did we get to a rave? No joke. I was like, how did we get to a
They're
rave?
at the base camp where Tom
You weren't
Cruise.
kidding. They hear beats in the woods. You weren't
They hear
kidding with
beats.
that.
It's just like boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
That was a serious line you were telling me that happened.
It's like, what is that sound? Is that?
What is that?
What is it? And like, oh no, it sounds like music. I thought you quarantined this whole area, and there's a. It's not even like.
No, there's a rave actually right over there.
It's not even like it's a rave in the woods. It's like a club
it's
in like a street.
in the city. Yes.
We're not even Freddy versus Jasoning it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would be cool.
Yeah.
Or an American Werewolf in London, an abandoned church.
Yeah.
Or something. It could kind
And I
of
thought,
work.
like, I was kind of excited, stupidly so, where I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's gonna be a massacre, and of course,
yeah,
everyone's like,
The
oh,
DJ is the only one who dies.
Yeah.
In that scene.
Oh shit!
And then they captured.
And the snake starts scratching.
The guy. Well, if it had the rattles, yes, it probably could have been. But they captured earlier the Tom Cruise guy.
Mr. Broderick, you're under arrest for poaching and illegal animal importing.
And he
No one's
walks
watching him.
away.
No one's he's not handcuffed.
No handcuffed. No under
They obviously
surveillance.
know his reputation as a legendary poacher and animal trafficker or whatever, and no one locks him up, takes him directly
Poacher, animal trafficker, shakes shirt off often for no apparent reason. It's in the notes for some.
There's not even guards around him. It's just the dude in the tie.
Yeah.
So he just escapes, grabs a flamethrower that's clanking around, and steals a tank.
And he steals, ultra-terrain vehicle or whatever it's called. And then the actual boa versus python lasts less than a minute, with two trains in between.
Yeah, at least they tear him in half.
That was a pretty cool. He gets caught under the train.
That train station, my God.
Yeah. It looks like hey, I had 5 minutes on lunch, so I put together a CGI.
Here's what we're thinking it's going to look like. Here's the basic kind of layout.
Slap it up.
I have paint.
I will say.
Yeah.
I think indicative of what this movie would be if it knocked it out of the park for what it was is when I think pretty sure we've seen it done before, but still, the guys going down on the necking teenagers, an accident.
I was just thinking about that.
The guy gets pulled out of the car, which of course the girl doesn't hear or feel, and then completely unbeknownst to her, the tongue switches because a giant forked, ice cold, flickering reptile tongue is the same as a human male one.
Yeah. Oh, give it to me, Brian.
But she gets pleasured
Plus
by the
it's gotta
snake
be like fat.
for a little
probably
bit.
Like that.
She gets pleasured by the snake completely spread eagle before realizing what it is. That's the type of thing where I feel like if you're a real auteur, I don't know, my mind jumps to like Eli Roth's Cabin Fever was pretty fun because it actually had a little bit of character with the grime. Something like that. If that scene is indicative of this being like an actual A+.
The same scene is in Lake Placid 2, directed by the same director.
Is it?
The woman on the beach that she thinks that is her boyfriend, and it says a crocodile, and then drags.
No way.
Yeah.
Rachel, that's not me!
Wait, how could the crocodile go down on her?
You couldn't
read.
This is a genuine moment. He found out before the show. This director did Lake Placid 2, episode also available on this channel. This effer is sneaking in animal interspecies friggin' oral sex scenes.
Did Lake Placid 2 come first, or did this come?
Oh no, the woman came first from the alligator. The alligator came first.
I think it's after this one. I think.
How could you? At least the snake's got a tongue that sticks.
It's the signature of the director. We're making a movie about Queen Elizabeth. Quick! Bring me a giant reptile, whatever it is, and there's gonna be a scene.
I am an artiste. Every movie I do has animal oral sex.
Yes. Queen Elizabeth is gonna have an afternoon T-Rex. And so she's sipping and being chomped by...
and then our very last scene is them suiting up to go down to the sewer to find the eggs.
Because he thinks that he has killed the
We had a recent quick ending, didn't we? We had a recent quick ending on Jams that blew our minds. This one takes the cake.
Yes.
Because he literally says, me and you make a pretty good team.
Let's go.
And Betty makes 3. And I expected, well, of course they're going to show Betty pops up in some way.
We make a pretty good team.
And Betty makes 3. Ready?
Ready.
Like, what's the point of even putting that in?
This was like, what?
It's, they had at least he thinks that he has killed the boa, and instead he's not because he's vanished. Again, they didn't realize that the 70-foot long boa...
Oh, it gets thrown across when the train...
Yeah, but they were looking at it.
Train shot's not bad. Or idea is not bad.
And the...
Sure.
Well, it's definitely better than Snakes on a Train.
Wow, I was just thinking of Snakes on a Train.
That's one of the most lethargic
Did we watch that?
movie.
Yeah, where me and Mateo did.
I think we all watched it. All right, guys. Well, that was Boa Python-tastic. Let's express our feelings by throwing pieces of paper. I'm going to start with a 1, 2, And Rip here for a directly down the middle 2.5. Like I said, better than I expected to be fun. Still kind of shitty. Earns its place right in the middle of the meter because, you know, there's worse, but there's a ton better. Fun enough with friends. For me.
Okay. I go with 3. It's stupid, but it's
not bad.
At least it's not
bad.
Dreadful.
I'm going with 4 because it was
Matthew
bad, but it wasn't as bad as an Asylum.
Yeah. Richard Rowe.
Richard would never watch this. He wouldn't sink this low.
Probably.
Was this, last question, was this released just straight to...
Yes.
Okay. Probably cleaned up in the old early 2000s market, I imagine. Flying off the shelf at Blockbuster.
At least judging by the cover, yes, because the cover promises you and all together, I mean, all around, yes, an all-around fight between 2 mega monsters, and it doesn't say that it's only in the last minute of the movie. Then again, snakes on a train. The poster is the snake eating the train, and apparently it wasn't supposed to be the ending. But the investor saw the poster and say, "Oh, can we do that?" Say, "Here's more money."
Sure.
I guess that they gave them $10, judging by the
Look,
ending.
I found this CGI program at the local dollar store. Use that.
Yes.
MaJaMa.
Well, guys, this was actually surprisingly fun, at least for me. I was very pleasantly surprised how this was.
I don't think you were surprised how good it was. I think you were surprised how it wasn't too...
How not bad it was.
Yeah.
Well, again, like I said, I had a little philosophical angle because I think this illustrates why there are
Shut
different
up.
tiers of movie. Okay. Well, on that note, guys, we're going to keep things short so my brother doesn't get mad. But, of course, I forgot to tell you guys to please like, subscribe, and comment at the top because I was so excited to get into this A-plus content. But if you enjoyed this and laughed along with your pals on the couch, give us a like. Subscribe. There's new ones coming. Give us a comment telling us you enjoyed it or you want to hate us. I think we should die and stop doing this. But no matter how you feel about us, we'll be back next week with an all-new jam. And from our paper-filled couch to yours, this was a jam. Whoop! Gave you 6 endings for the price of 1 there.
I noticed, and none of them is good.
Well, what about the... That sticks around.
But now you did it first. There's no continuity.
Oh, was there ever?
No.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Bayou Badou. Bayou Badou.